Everybody loves the new game, Old World. Everybody wants to learn about how. Adam, Pete, and Danny told me that Old World charm starts now.
G'day there, my beloved denizens of the old world. You're back for episode 32 of that Old World Charm. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We haven't done enough to highlight the magnificent intro work done for us by the beautiful Steve Joll, who is a radio presenter from New Zealand who recorded all our spoofs and all our intros and outro musics. And I could not be happier with how silly and amazing they are. I'm sure those sentiments will be echoed by my two wonderful guests. And by guests, I mean co-hosts. Danny McDevitt rejoining us. Hello, brother.
Hey, man. You know, at this point, I'm sort of just a recurring guest.
No, you're not. Shush.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Three heads of the Dark Elf Hydra, whose rules are terrible, just like our show. And the Falcon is joining us, as you just heard.
Hi, my babies. How are you?
We are so thoroughly good and happy to hear you say those things. But this episode, we are reviewing High Elves. We're going to do our usual holistic cover-to-cover review in our own order. That makes more sense to us. Review of the High Elf Army book, how it's doing, what it's doing, what's good, what's bad, what's otherwise, and everything in between. And we waited for Danny for this one because he is our elven expert all things pointy-eared. And he's going to be our great expert analysis and comments, as I've only played against High Elves, and I assume, Falcon, you're the same?
Yeah, I do not play this bullshit army that, at least luckily, isn't like a top-tier army this time around.
What a cool army.
It is a cool army, though. I will be honest, because they're not the best army in the game right now, it does make me actually want to play them.
No, I still don't.
They're like selfish. They're like the most good guys in the whole setting right now.
It's true.
In this part of the setting, yeah, they are, right? Yeah. A little bit cocky.
Yeah.
You know?
But cocksure.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a real interesting book. So this is the first time I've played an edition of a rank and flank game that doesn't have a busted high elf component or build, I think. 5th edition and 6th edition both had, at points, really strong high elf builds, yeah? Because I know they did in 7th edition and, of course, the Terrors of 8th edition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've always kind of had something, I think, as far back as I know. And honestly, there was a very brief period here in Old World where they were not too shabby. They were definitely winning stuff. But
was that just the double and triple dragon combo BS?
Well, it was mainly
people just hadn't figured out dragons yet, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
People hadn't figured out dragons, and ethereal dragons are more difficult to build than other things. And now that you can't do that or do that in the same way, most of the really good armies right now in the game cheat to be good. They play unfair Warhammer. Yeah. High Elves, I think, are an example of a great fair Warhammer army. They just don't have enough unfair stuff.
These words have never been heard on a podcast. Yeah, these words have never been heard on a podcast before referencing High Elves. That's the first time here. For those of you who don't know the process, the way we review books is we pretty much just man reads book this from like a 3-person perspective, taking our turns reading out each segment, giving us analysis, giving you guys as expert and insight as we can for what we think is good, what we think is bad, and where we think the value and the fringe or spiciness may lie. We start off, of course, with the army list review, the Grand Army list. Then we jump to the back of the book to give you guys context before we do the unit entries. So we do special rules. In this case, we'll be doing the honors as well, the honor system, and we'll also be doing their special armory, so their special bows and spears and stuff, so that when we do go through the units, you guys get the full context. When you read our Arrows of Avalon or Bow of Avalon or whatever, you're not just like, and have to wait like another hour of the podcast to figure out if that unit is good or not. So that is the way we figured out to do this logically and with you guys having a full audio context. There is 2 parts to this podcast. Second part is going to be a beautiful Q&A provided by our patron group. So if you want to jump over to that's patron at that Old World Charm. Jump over there. You get a full another whole podcast just for you, usually serving our patron group, whatever they want us to talk about, be it good, bad, memery, or otherwise. We're starting off this on page 155 of your Orders of Good Guys book. Should you have it in front of you, you can follow along with us. And Danny boy, you're the best place to go for this. How does their Grand Army composition list stack up?
Well, they don't have like an absolute ton of restrictions here, right? Like it's you're limited to 2 level 4s if you want level 4s, or 2 dragon mage or handmaidens. The core is like it's a pretty good tax, I think, on high elves, actually, because they don't have like the absolute best core choices. I think they have some decent ones, but I don't think it's anything like I don't feel like you're going to spend more than 25% on core. Really, the meat of the army is in characters. And then I feel like in your special and rare, specifically, I think that it's mostly hanging out in the rare section with like maybe 1 unit in special that's good.
I always feel like looking at a high elves army, I want to see exactly 500 points of core and exactly 500 points of rare, as in like the minimum you can spend on core and the absolute maximum you can spend on rare.
Absolutely.
That's how I've always seen it. Falcon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the way the game's being played right now, you guys are pretty correct as to how this is playing out.
I would like to say that their core choices are of a very wide spread. Like you do have a very good spread of core choices. Everything from archers, sea guard, reavers, silver helms. So you pretty much can play your shooty core. You can play your bit of both core in the sea guard. You can play fast cav core, or you can play cav core. And I think that gives a good bit of breadth. But most of all, what you said before, Danny, this is just like kind of the fairest Grand Army list we have, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Nothing crazy here. Like nothing really like super stands out.
And it's not like their core is bad. It's not like they're Skaven or something. Like they have good options. It's just like they're not the best options. So.
All right, jumping from that page, we're going to go to page 179 over to the Elven Honors, and we're going to hit a rhythm here where it's going to go Falcon, Danny, Adam, as we read these out one at a time. But Adam, Falcon, tell us.
Hey, hold on. Before we do this, it might be better, I think, to do the special rules first because the honors use the special rules a lot.
Well, I mean, just chuck the whole format out the window. Why don't you?
I'm sorry, dude. I was just reading it, and I thought to myself, like, maybe we can do this even better than you had suggested, and like you suggested a very good way.
Easy. Well, take us away then, Danny. We'll hit a rhythm of Danny, Falcon, me then. Danny, tell us about the special.
Let's talk about Arrows of Aisha, dude. This is an amazing rule. So this special rule, any bow, longbow, shortbow, warbow, or bow of Avalorn, which is a special piece of war gear that some units have, carry bottom model with this special rule gains the armor bane 1 and an armor piercing characteristic of -1. So you're already making things that, like especially longbows specifically and bows of Avalorn that already have armor bane, have an extra armor bane and have an additional point of armor penetration right off the bat. This is a great rule to have.
I mean, dwarves pay points for a runesmith to put armor bane 2 on their quarrelers and thunderers, right? And you're just like, this is just a special we have. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Petey baby, hit the rhythm.
The blessings of Asuryan. The most devoted servants of Asuryan seem to blaze with a fiery intensity born of unshakable faith. In battle, such faith is rewarded by the creator god of the elves. A model with this special rule has a 5+ ward save against wounds suffered that were caused by the flaming attack special rule. Next.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. The flavor text is so much better than the rule text. Dragon Armor is up next. A model with this special rule has a 6+ ward save against any wound suffered, so just bang 6+ ward. In addition, a wizard with this special rule may wear armor without it. So that is quite nice. So your wizards get to be decked out in all sorts of goodness, giving them great saves, especially when they're on a mount, and then 6+ ward save on a variety of other different units. Most notably, of course, Dragon Princes, which we'll get to see if they're any good. Any thoughts on that? Is that a great rule there, Danny?
I mean, anytime you get a 6+ ward save, I think for free, or at least baked into the point cost, I think it's just a nice rule to have. It's not going to like dictate your build or anything, but the units that do have it are decent units. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Keep going, mate.
All right. So next we've got Elven Reflexes. So this is a pretty standard elf rule. I think all elves have this rule. A model with this special rule, but not its mount, have a +1 modifier to its initiative characteristic to a maximum of 10 during the first round of any combat. I think this is kind of defining or elves, like not only are they movement 5 and already have good initiative, but this is a way to kind of simulate or bring back always strikes first, but in a little bit less abusive of a way for the entire army.
Agreed.
Ethelmar armor and barding. Ethelmar is a wondrous and lightweight metal found only in Val's Anvil, the largest volcano in Ulthuan. A warrior wearing a gleaming suit of Ethelmar armor enjoys great protection and freedom of movement, enabling them to traverse the most hostile of terrain with ease. So these guys, they reroll ones when they make dangerous terrain tests. In addition, if you have a wizard with Ithamar armor, once again, they can wear armor without any penalty.
Did you know it's very ironic that you can spell mithril with the letters in Ithelmar? Because that's what they're ham-fisting into this.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, well, mithril with an A, so it's.
I know they put an
A
in there to be spicy. Well, let's not be.
Yeah.
Just tell us about
like
weapons as
Mathril, really.
Yeah, it's Mathril armor. It's fancier. You got to put your little finger out when you're describing it. Tell us about the weapons as well, Peter. It's fantastic.
Well, mithril weapons, same idea. They're lightweight, and so because of this, models with the special rule may reroll ones to hit when they're using hand weapons.
Nice. Both great rules, right?
Yeah. Like rerolling ones on dangerous terrain tests, specifically because most of the cavalry have this rule.
Yeah.
Or at least the heavy cavalry have this rule, is really nice. It makes you a lot less afraid to go in the woods.
Yep.
All right. Lilith's Blessing. Once per turn, a model with a special rule may reroll a single failed casting roll. Very nice, very powerful. People pay points for this. You know, there are war gear upgrades there are relic upgrades you can take to get a similar effect, and you just kind of get it.
Yeah, it's a 30-point magic item for most books.
Yeah.
And high elves just get it on on their major casters. So
it's nice. Did it, Danny?
So we got Lion Cloak. A model with a special rule improves its armor save by 1 to a maximum of 2+ against non-magical shooting attacks. Nice on the stuff that doesn't really have like a great armor save mostly, which is going to be, or the models that have this are going to be White Lions and Lion Chariots. It's better on the Chariot because I think that gives it like a 3+ save against shooting, non-magical shooting, which is great. And then less effect. It only makes the White Lions like a 4+ save. So
yeah, 100% agree. Going from a 4+ to a 3+ is way better statistically. Because and no one's shooting it. No one's shooting their crossbows at Lion Chariots very often, expecting it to do much. And those little bits of chip damage just become so less likely.
100%.
Martial prowess. Elven soldiers spend many hours perfecting their battlefield drill, masterfully wielding their long spears with a skill and grace absent from the ranks of their enemies. A unit with a special rule makes supporting attacks to its flank and rear as well as to its front.
It's a cool rule. Wish it was on a good unit. It would have been sick on a bunch of other units, but the ones where you'll find this turn out to be some of the more middling.
It's like fine on, I think Phoenix Guard have this.
Yeah.
Which is the best unit that has this rule.
All right, Valor of Ages. A unit with this special rule may reroll any failed panic tests caused by taking heavy casualties or by being fled through by a friendly unit.
It's good.
It's good. It's nice to have.
It's nice.
Who needs a BSB?
Let's just do the armory, and then we can circle back to the honors. So first of the armory section, Danny.
So we've got the Bow of Avalorn. Hey, I was just talking about this.
I know it's nice little cinch together. You know, that's
a callback, Adam.
It is.
So the Bow of Avalorn is a ranged weapon. It has a range of 30 inches. Strength is strength user. Special rules has armor bane 1, magic attacks, and volley fire. So almost every model I can think of that has a Bow of Avalorn also has arrows of Aisha, which means that they are strength user AP -1 with armor bane 2 and magic attacks. And if you roll a 6 to wound, then they're AP 3, which is great.
And yeah. So not only are they just spicily pretty good against heavily armored targets, they're all magic attacks. So if you ever do play against those warp spawned assholes, you just kind of rip them a new one by
Ceremonial halberds. These are your Phoenix Guard weapons or characters that take the Phoenix Guard honor. It can choose to take one of these. It's strength +1, AP 1, regular halberd, armor bane 1, but it gets the benefit of fight and extra ranks. And that is good. So it's a halberd with fight and extra ranks. That's basically
and magic attacks.
Oh, yes, and magical attacks.
Not bad though. Just it's pretty much a basic halberd with +1, AP1, but it gets armor bane and fight extra ranks, right?
Yep.
Well, halberd has armor bane, so it's really just the fight and extra ranks and magical attacks. But that's good. It's a good thing.
All right, Carasian, Great Blade.
I think it's Tracy.
Strength. So it's an extra AP great weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than having armor bane 1, it just gets an extra AP slapped on it. So strength +2, AP 3, requires 2 hand strikes last. Pretty good. Like it's a hammer, but a great blade.
Yeah, that's decent. Plus, I mean, the other thing you want to keep in mind too is that high elves, when they charge, they're with elven reflexes, they get an extra initiative. So even though they're going to initiative 1, they're really like plus 4 initiative. So they're like, or I guess they're +4. So they're so they're like initiative 5 on the charge, which is faster than most stuff anyway. Next item we have here is Sword of Hoth. This is the weapon Swordmasters have. It's a great weapon. It doesn't have armor bane. High elves don't like armor bane on their close combat weapons unless it's a halberd. But the nice thing here is it doesn't have strikes last and it's magic attacks.
Yeah.
So you get all the benefits of a great weapon except for armor bane and none of the drawbacks and magic attacks.
All right, flipping over to the Elven Honors, page 179. These are essentially your spicy character upgrades. So if you want to tune your character to a specific role, comes with some war gear in addition to a couple of little tricks and bits. And they're very akin to big names or your Blessings of Chaos and stuff like that. If you want to get an example of what these would be comparable to. But Falcon, what's the first one?
So the first one is the Lore Master, 35 points. Amongst the seers and scholars that reside within the Tower of Hoeth, there are those that practice both the mystical and martial arts as one. Such dedication marks a Lore Master from a mere scholar. This is for High Elf Lords only, so only princes and nobles can take this. If you choose to take this big pointy shenanigan, you lose the ability to take a mount. You become a level 1 wizard and can generate 1 spell randomly from battle magic, elementalism, high magic, or illusion magic. You can choose to be equipped with a Sword of Hoth for no additional points. If so, you may not take any other non-magical weapon. You also gain Ithelmar armor, Lilia's Blessing, and the Lore of Safari special rules.
Nice.
Is it good though, Danny?
I mean, look, it's 35 points, right? It's an interesting way that you can get an arcane item on a fighting character.
Yeah, I'd say
it's not good, I would say.
I would argue that it's probably not good. But if you want to really take it in, Lilia's Blessing gives you a reroll on that casting roll you're going to have every turn. If you took battle magic so that you have hammer hand, you now have a guy that's always strike first with hammer hand and potentially a good amount of attacks. But losing a mount, I think, is probably the biggest blow in this. And it's 35 points. And yes, 30 of those is devoted to making you a level 1 wizard. But I don't think it's the best option.
Well, level 1 wizards aren't good anyway, right?
Exactly right. You're paying for an upgrade that's pretty negligible. I mean, the bunch of special rules and the bits of war gear you get aren't the worst, but I feel like there's better. You could almost get a better return from the magic items you could get for 35 points.
Yeah, I would rather just take the Warden of Safari for 10 points, and you lose out on the magic thing, but you get all the other benefits. So
yeah. Next up is Shadowstalker. A character with the Shadowstalker Elven Honor cannot be mounted. May be equipped with a Bow of Avalon for no additional points. If so, they may not take an additional magic weapon. So you just take a magic weapon and you get a Bow of Avalon. Cannot have heavy armor or full plate. Gains the ambushes, evasive, fire and flee, move through cover, and scout special rules. So in my estimation, that's about 25 points of special rules. Just And if you put like either 3 or 5 points on each one of those special rules, being ambushes, evasive, fire and flee, move through cover, and scouts, which are usually between 2, 3, or 5 points upgrades on units per model. So that already pays for the 20 points that you're going to put on it. It's just whether the rest of it is a make or break for you. What do you make, Danny?
Yeah, it's real situational. I think you'd really have to have a very good build in mind. It's a way that you can get a character up the table. Like if you wanted to scout a character for some reason, you could do it with this. But like, I probably would not spend the points on this if it were me.
Yeah, I mean it's actually a good package, but I don't see the reality of it translating onto the table.
No, like I've seen people try to do this with like an archmage to slip them in with like Sisters of Avalorn or Shadowstalkers. It's or Shadowwalkers. It's not
Shadow
great.
Warriors.
Shadow Warriors. It's not great, but it's kind of like a janky fun thing. Gives you that 360 shooting plus the benefits of fire and flee and evasive. But it's kind of meh. I don't think it's like.
I do love fire and flee on a character.
Yeah,
where you jump into dispel range, shoot, jump out of dispel range, then do your magic missiles and stuff like that. That could be kind of janky and cool. All right, Danny, you're up next.
So next we have the Anointed of Assyrian. This is 15 points. This is any character. You may be mounted on a Flamespire Phoenix or Frostheart Phoenix, but cannot choose any other mount options. May be equipped with a ceremonial halberd for no extra points. If you do, you can't take anything else. You get the Blessing of Assyrian, Fear, and Witness to Destiny special rules. And you replace Valor of Ages with the Veteran special rule. 15 points for a 5+ ward save against flaming attacks is probably not the best. But if you want to put a character on a Phoenix, like as a kind of cheaper option for a dragon, I think it's not bad for that, but that's the only situation I think I'm taking this honor in realistically.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Veteran is always a good rule to have, especially when you're getting screamed at.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true, actually. Petey.
I lost my page. Just give me a second. My
I got
PDF crashed.
Blood of Calidor, 15 points. Our character's Blood of Calidor, Elven Honor, but not their mount, must be mounted on either a Barded Elven Steed, a Sun Dragon, Moon Dragon, or Star Dragon. Oh, look, probably what I wanted to do anyway. Has a +1 modifier to their weapon skill. That's pretty good already for 15 points. Maybe equipped with full plate armor for no additional points. Okay, so how many points do people usually play for full plate?
4 to 6.
Yeah, so you're paying 9 points for +1 weapon skill. Very nice. And then gains dragon armor and impetuous. The impetuous is the only downside here. Otherwise, this is a banger.
Yeah.
Baby.
I mean, look, depending on how aggressively you want to play a dragon, there are some times where you don't want to charge with the dragon, but because it's so fast and has fly, you can often get good charges that you want anyway. So like I feel like if you can play around impetuous, it's a great package of it's a great package of benefits. +1 modifier to weapon skill, making yourself weapon skill 8.
Yeah, it's a break point.
Yeah, it's a nice break point. Or you can put this on a hero and make them weapon skill 7, which is also really nice. The noble. But yeah, no, I think it's a good rule if you can play around impetuous.
And you do have enough fast cat that you can take in your army to do some impetuous management as well. So there are options there. You ready to go, Peter?
Yes. We now have the Tracian Hunter for 10 points. A character with this elven honor may only be mounted on a white lion chariot, cannot choose any other mount options, may be equipped with that Tracian Greatblade for no additional points, and gains the lion cloak, move through cover, and stubborn special rules.
It's actually fantastic, with the exception that the White Lion Chariot is overshadowed by so many better mounts in this book.
Yeah.
I look like for 10 points though, it's actually like you kind of just don't need to put anything else on that guy. You could just have a cheap, like line busting chariot character who's relatively good.
Stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Move through cover on a chariot's pretty nice too.
Yeah. I also like that. Yeah, no, I think this is a cool package, and like you're often going to be a 2+ armor saving and shooting like pretty easily with just full plate and a shield. So that's pretty nice as well.
I actually rate it. I just don't think that's the best mount for a character. I think you got way better mounts for all your characters.
Yeah.
But it is very cute. Like I could see this guy actually being quite a cheap little problem.
He seems like he'd be real annoying.
Yeah. Right,
next
Danny,
honor we have is Warden of Safri. Warden of Safri is 10 points. A character with the Warden of Safri elven armor can't be mounted. May be given a Sword of Hoth for no points. Can't take another weapon if you do. You gain the deflect shots, Elithmer armor, and killing blow special rules.
This is
great.
This is my favorite one. Even if I don't use it very often when I build lists, like it's my favorite. Killing blow
is so cool.
Killing blow for 10 points. Yeah, a wizard with the Sword of Hoeth and killing blow, like with Lore of Illusion. That's a pretty sweet package. If you're not going to give him the white sword, which is also legit, like this is like a cheaper. Yeah, I like it a lot.
So for 10 points, you get a great weapon with killing blow.
Yeah,
you get an attack at initiative great weapon with killing blow.
True. Do you know how much better that is than the 45 points you pay for the headman's axe? Do you know how much better that is?
So you put it on like
35 points better.
If you don't want to put it on a wizard, because sometimes you want a wizard on like a chariot or something for speed. Like the Warden of Safri, putting this on like a regular noble, he's only like 83 points to have like a 2-up armor save or 3-up armor save and have killing blow at always strike first with AP2. Like he's an amazing challenge machine. If infantry was good, or if the cavalry options for high elves stood up to everybody else's, like it would be such an amazing. He's a really good tech piece.
Go ahead. Apart from the way that the game is played, if I had never played a game of the old world and I just went through looking for the best like point per value I could spend in any book, this would be top 3.
Oh yeah.
This would absolutely be top 3 most valuable 10 points I could spend in any book in the game. It's absurd. Love it.
Good.
All right. Pure of Heart. It's free. That's also a first. Alyssa's character is fleeing. All friendly units within their command range can use their leadership characteristic instead of their own. In addition, this character and any unit it has joined automatically passes any panic test it is required to make. So you just chuck this everywhere where you don't have anything else that you want to take. And then you just have more, inspiring presence auras. You have more general auras. I think it's fantastic.
And it's like inspiring presence without being inspiring presence. So it gets around all the things that take that away.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing. Why they don't at least make you pay 5 points for it pisses me off. Is this the first book where we've read out free? I knew this was coming, but I needed to ask on the show at this point. Who else has a special rule that just says free next to it?
I'm just going to assume you're paying some of those points built into the character costs for high elves. And
probably
we'll go with that.
You're lying to me and the people. All right, last one. Who's up? Danny.
Seaguard. Also free. Character with characters can only be mounted on a Lothran Skycutter, which is a dope chariot.
It is.
You get a war bow for free, but you can't take any other non-magical weapons, and you get the Naval Discipline and Rallying Cry special rules. Naval Discipline that's the free reform on charge, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's great. This is another great one. This is an awesome way to get a fantastic mount for your wizard. Like the wizard on the Lothran Sea Cutter is such a good unit. And this is the way you do it. So very good upgrade. Also, you can't argue with the price point.
Free.
Nope. I mean, like Rallying Cry is a really good special rule to help you with when you panic when you didn't expect to. The Archmage on a Lothran Skycutter is incredible. Honestly, if you're looking to save points off of a dragon, even putting a prince or a noble on these things, it's very easy to have them with a 2+ save. And now they're immune to killing blow. They're immune to monster slayer, and they're fast as fuck with a bolt thrower stuck on the back. Like it's not a bad deal.
No, it's a pretty good package. In addition, if you join Seaguard, you would give them Baby Drilled, right? Or do they already have it?
They already have it.
Yeah, I figured they already had it. So what's the point in giving it to this guy? What does this character get to join other units and give it to him? Because he doesn't, right?
So
I don't understand the point for printing that on the words. Because
it lets you stand and shoot regardless of how close they are.
Yeah,
and then so you always get to stand and shoot, which is great. And then also you get a free adjust the ranks maneuver, but it's only for. It doesn't say. You can't be joined by characters that don't have the special rule for Seaguard specifically.
There you go.
Okay. Yep. All right. Into that is giving you enough of the context to move forward with the unit entries. So jumping back to page 156, High Elf Lords, a prince will run you 130 and a noble will run you 170. So almost the same as other books where you pay you pay half the points for what we call the hero version rather than the Lord version. Both come with move 5, weapon skill 7 and 6 respectively, blister skill 7 and 6 respectively, both strength 4, both toughness 3, 3 and 2 wounds, of course, initiative 6 and initiative 5, 4 and 3 attacks, leadership 10, leadership 9. Both come with Ithelmar weapons, so they're always rerolling ones to hit. And then strikes first, just slap down on there, and Valor of Ages. And then you could pretty much expect what they can take from here. The one to point out is they can have a 12-point upgrade for a Bow of Avalon. Apart from that, it's the usual special weapons you would expect. And shield, light armor, heavy, full plate, etc., etc. Can take a single Elven honor, and then 150 points for upgrades as you get. These guys are pretty much one of the most utilitarian, like you can kind of build them for purpose characters and lords in the game. They're up there with Chaos Lords as far as you can push the points to ridiculous levels if you really want to sink them in there, and they can go pretty much to as far as you want. The ceiling, the sky is the limit for how crazy you can make these guys defensively, offensively, or in the middle. Special comments, boys?
No, I think you nailed it, Adam. A great unit. Access to full plate too is really nice. Yeah, but just a great baseline fighting character.
Oh yeah.
All right, Danny, you're up next.
Next, we have High Elf Mages. Archmages run you 155. Normal mages run you 80. Standard Elf stat block. So you've got weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 3, 3 and 2 wounds respectively. Initiative 5, initiative 4. The Archmage also has 2 attacks. For some reason, they start off as level 3s or level 1s, and they can take spells from Battle Magic, Elementalism, High Magic, or Illusion. Which is cool because there's not very many wizards that can take High Magic. They can be mounted. They can take a single Elven honor. You can upgrade them to level 4, level 2, respectively. Their special rules are Elven Reflexes, Lithmar Weapons, Lilith's Blessing, Lore of Safri, and Valor of Ages. So all great rules. You are probably taking an Archmage for sure, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
The Lore of Safri, which one is that?
Lore of Safri is their unique spell lore that they have. So the two signature spells that they have, which are like, I think, they have 3. I'm sorry. Hand of Keen, Courage of Venarian, and Balsam Making, but we'll go over those a little later.
It was Lilia's Blessing I was talking about. So each one of them has a built-in free casting reroll per turn.
Yes.
Which is bustedly good. So very good.
And they don't really cost that much more than...
No, they don't. I was about to say that. Like they don't cost. Like there is no premium on this. Maybe they're like 10 points more than contemporaries.
Yeah, there's like if you look at Wood Elves, which don't really have the same kind of benefits, it's like a 15 point. I think it is what it ends up being. But like whatever,
so a half price, no magic item allotment taking up.
Reroll of it's great. It's great. Like I think like if you looked at High Elves characters. You would say High Elves is an amazing book because you can make a ridiculous prince, you can make quite a good noble, and you can make a fantastic archmage. So,
Petey, dragon mages.
Dragon mages. So, what if you had really liked dragons and you wanted to take more of them in your list? You can take dragon mages. They're 275 points. That gets you a weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 5. 6 wound, initiative 5, level 1 wizard. that also has an additional 4 strength 5 attacks at weapon skill 5 from his little sun dragon that he rides on. You can take battle magic or elementalism. You can be upgraded to be level 2. You can take 50 points of magic items. Special rules, you get blessings of Assyrian, so you get that 5 up ward against flaming attacks. Close order, dragon armor, so you're good there. Elven reflexes, fly 10, impetuous, Ithalmar weapons, large target, Lilius blessing, Lore of Safri, D6 stomps, swift stride, terror, valor of ages. It does have a flaming breath weapon that's strength 4 AP 1. The dragon's attacks are all AP 2. It's a million special rules for something that's you're probably never going to take, because you're just if you really want a dragon this bad, you're probably going to put an archmage on it or your prince on
Correct.
it.
Only time I see them considered is in the triple dragon builds, because it's that's the only time.
And it's once again, impetuous kind of sucks to have on a caster. And level 1, level 2 casters don't do much. So you're
actually a great way of toning your list down. If you wanted to play a softer, if you still want to play with your dragon and have the fun of having a dragon, but also not feel like you're playing busted BS against somebody who's ill-equipped to deal with them, Dragon Mage is a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Handmaidens of the Everqueen. Love this unit. 65 points gets you weapon skill 6, bliss skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, 2 wounds, and issue 6, 2 attacks, leadership 8. They come with handmaiden spear, which is strength user AP 1, and during a turn in which it was charged, they gain +1 modifier to their initiative. So general spear stuff, but AP 1 on the spear is very nice. Bow of Avalon, which we know is a banger. Then can have heavy armor for 3 points, 50 points of magic items, and it can be upgraded to be a handmaiden of the Everqueen and may take the Horn of Isha for 25 points. Special rules of Arrows of Isha: evasive, ignores cover, ballistic skill 7, ignores cover, problematic, immune to psychology, Ithalmar armor, Ithalmar weapons, so rerolling 1s to hit and strikes first. Only 2 attacks. Otherwise, this thing would be incredibly busted with 3 or 4 attacks. Happy to see. And Horn of Isha, the upgrade there for 25 points, is single use during the command sub-phase of their turn. This character may attempt to use the Horn of Isha by making a leadership test using their own leadership. If this test is passed until you're the start of your next turn sub-phase, this character and any unit they have joined gains a +1 modifier to both their to hit and to wound rolls. Absolute fantastic 65-point character. And I still don't see them very much, funnily enough, because I feel like everyone just maxes out on them archmages and lords. What do you guys think of the Handmaiden?
So one thing I think that's interesting about these and relating to like the army list build is if you take one of these as your general, you can take a unit of the Handmaidens as a core choice. But you're limiting yourself to a leadership 8 army, and is that great? I don't know, but you do have Valor of Ages to kind of back yourself up here a little bit. I think they're really cool, a really cool unit. I love the horn, especially on a big fat unit of Sisters of Avalon. I think they're great. I think they're great for their points.
I think they're fantastic. Peter?
I have nothing to add. Like it's a great unit. I have seen them pretty, I wouldn't say frequently, but you do see them show up. Not so much as the general, but like having one in a squad of 12 to 15 handmaidens before the skirmishing, the changes to skirmishing and making sure you're within a certain amount of inches in case you get charged. You'd see some people trying to run like 20, 30 man handmaiden squads. Those have kind of cut down just based off of the potential of losing half your unit to movement. But it's a great little package.
Yeah, absolutely banger for 65 points. And then it goes to 90 points with the Handmaiden Everqueen upgrade, which you're probably doing if you're taking only one of them.
Oh yeah, if you're taking a big squad and you want the horn.
All the mounts are yours, Danny.
So you have a lot of mount options here. A noble or prince can take an elven steed for 14 points, a barded elven steed for 18 points, or they can ride a Tirnoch chariot, a griffin, a moon dragon, a star dragon, or a great eagle for the points associated with those units, which we'll get to a little bit later. An archmage can have an elven steed, barded elven steed for the same points, a moon dragon or a star dragon or a great eagle, And then they list the different options that you can take if you take a particular honor. Nothing crazy with the other mounts, although I will note that barded elven steeds do give you access to countercharge and first charge and Lithmar barding. So they already have barding built in. So you're looking at, for 18 points, I think, like, to put on like a little missile character is like kind of cool. Just to go do stuff like countercharge on like another lord is pretty interesting. I guess they're already strikes first though, right? So like that's not huge.
But they're also
they're cool. Good mounts.
Like all elven mounts, they're 1 inch faster than like human equivalent mounts as well. So they're movement 9 and movement 8 respectively. And for only 4 more points over the elven steed, the barded elven steed gives you so much more value. So much more value. Yeah, quite impressive, really.
Yeah, you really only take the regular elven steed if you're doing something with like Illyrian Reavers and
correct. Yeah, and then wizard with Reavers. Yeah,
don't do that. Just take a barded elven steed.
Stop it,
Peter.
Now we're up to our first set of core choices: the Ulthuan Militia. So this is your spearmen and your archers. Elven spearmen. They have that regular elven movement of 5, which is amazing. Their weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, top 3, initiative 4, 1 attack, 2 attacks on their champion, 9 points a model. The archers, the only difference is their archer champion is ballistic skill 5 instead of having 2 attacks. And they're 10 points a model, which is actually pretty cheap for what the archers bring to the table. Especially for a very elite army otherwise, because they do have longbows, so they get that 30-inch range. For special rules, the archers have close order, detachment, elven reflexes, and valor of ages. The spearmen have close order, elven reflexes, martial prowess, regimental unit, and valor of ages. Spearmen can pay 10 points to have the shield wall special rule. Archers can take light armor for 1 point per model. Don't even bother. One spearman unit per 1,000 points can switch out Valor of Ages for veteran. Same with archers. The spearmen can take a 50-point magic banner if they'd like. Archers could take a 25-point magic banner if you would like. It's a lot here to say. You probably never are going to run spearmen. You might choose to run archers because it's not terrible. 10 points for a ballistic skill 4, 30-inch range gun is not awful at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You can run them 1 wide too, and just shoot all of them, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
with the way volley fire works, you can do some pretty fun shenanigans with them. Line them up like 5 deep and 1 wide, and for your minimum squads, and do shenanigans. So,
all right, Lothan Seaguard. They will run you 11 points for exactly the same stat line that Peter just read out. That being 5 for movement, 4s for weapon skill, bliss skill, all the 3s for strength and toughness. Same initiative of 4, 1 attack, leadership 8, and of course a Sea Master plus 7 points, an extra ballistic skill, and an extra attack. They come equipped with hand weapons, thrusting spears, warbows, and light armor. You can take shield for 1 point per model, which you probably do if you go on Seaguard. Yeah. You're trying to make the most of this. Of course, all the usual command upgrades and magic items of 25 points on the Sarge, which is the Sea Master. Can replace Valor of Ages with Veteran and can take a magic standard. They come with Close Order, Elven Reflexes, Martial Prowess, Naval Discipline, and Valor of Ages. Naval Discipline, as described previously, Lothan Seaguard may use this special rule when it takes a stand and shoot charge reaction. Unit does so, can make a stand and shoot charge reaction regardless of how close the charging unit is. Once this shooting has been resolved, the charged unit may make a free redress the ranks maneuver, after which it will hold and await the charging unit. Units that are fleeing and that are already engaged in combat when charged make no use of this special rule. Not bad. Not a bad unit. Bad in relation to how the game is played, like we've said a million times on this show already. Yeah. When you just compare this to other people's skeletal spearmen, Empire spearmen, these guys rock. They rock. Is the warbow is is it the 24 or the 18-inch bow?
24.
It's 24.
So it's just a regular bow. It's just like everyone else's bow, but you get a spear and your shield and baby drilled. which I think is sick. That's what I call naval discipline. It's we have drilled at home, kids.
You can
yeah,
do some weird stuff with it too. You can actually like really mess with people's charges with naval discipline. I feel like if you're really wide and they charge one side, you can just like go to the other side.
Yeah. So what I want to point out here is that an archer who only has a 6-inch better bow, essentially, is 1 point less. For 1 point more than the archer, you get all the goodness of being the spearman as well, plus a better armor save. Well, another point on top of that, so 2 more points than the archer. You get a better armor save. It's only 6 inches less on your bows, and you are phenomenally better at jank and combat. So if you like that, you might as well go there.
So the one thing I'll say as a counter argument, 6 inches is a big deal. 30-inch range.
So I've heard.
30-inch range is significantly better than 24 because it lets you shoot turn 1 if you go first.
Yeah, and it's also the shoot without being shot. Right.
Exactly.
The other thing too is that our longbows naturally have armor bane 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing you're giving up because warbows don't have armor bane.
Yeah. So Lothern Sea Guard used to be quite a good core unit in previous editions. Yeah. The thing is right now is like core units now, you kind of want them to be as cheap as possible. So like your skeleton spearmen, etc., with ways to buff them. Or you want them to be like elite monster killer style things, right? And that's the problem with Lothern is they're mediocre or decent at 2 different things and not amazing at either, and they're not ridiculously cheap. So
what I love here is the shenanigan opportunities that naval discipline brings. So let me just run something past you guys, and you tell me if I'm wrong in how this mechanics work. So if I have 2 units like in a line, they're both touching each other in such a way that it is very hard for opposing units to not declare a charge on both. And I have, let's say, my Sisters of Avalon with a Handmaiden in it. So very expensive unit, very powerful unit that someone wants to shut down very quickly. But I have a unit of just 5 Lothern Sea Guard abutting that unit, like literally touching an edge. So in such a way that it's very hard for them to, with whatever frontage they've got, not charge both. So they charge the Lothern Sea Guard, I stand and shoot, and then I readdress the ranks to be a single column of 5, getting closer to them, and thereby just like making it so they can't charge. They can't charge both. It's impossible to charge both now after they've declared charge both.
You can't get closer to them, right? Because your front rank has to stay in the same area.
This is why I say these things out loud. So you guys, because I'm assuming someone out there would have thought of similar to me. Explain, Falcon. Keep going.
Well, it's just like when you redress ranks, right? You're taking either from your front rank and pulling them back, or from your back rank and putting them into your front rank. So your front rank should not move up or down. Like you could pull a scenario where you force them to charge both, and then you redress so that they can't.
Correct.
Right, and that could cause a disordered charge. That would kind of be, I think that causes a disordered charge. That's kind of be one I'd have to look up. Like that could be a scenario I could see. I think Danny's play is a little more what you could do, where you have like a decent sized unit that's a little wider, say 10 wide or something. Someone tries to charge you on an angle. You stand and shoot, redress, move your five guys over to the right or to the left. And now they have to add 3 or 4 extra inches to their charge, and it becomes almost impossible. Like that's, I think a really cute thing that you can do with this.
Fair. All right.
Still neat though.
Moving. Yeah, it's still cool. Still jank opportunities there, and just 5 guys for what 55 points to add a little bit of jank. Not the worst thing in the world. Danny, you're up next.
So next we have White Lions. So White Lions are weapon skill 5 and strength 4 base compared to normal elves. They're strong boys.
And then the Iron Gut is strength 4. You're telling me a White Lion and an Iron Gut would have an even arm wrestle? Yeah, they would.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, probably. That's what the stats tell me, Adam. So is the White Lion stronger with his anyway? So they're regular infantry. Their unit size is 5+. They have hand weapons, Shiraisen or charcuterie great blades with heavy armor.
Charcuterie great blades.
They can take command options for 6 points each. You can replace Valor of Ages with Veteran for 1 point a model. They can take a 50-point magic banner, and the champion can take 25 points of magic items. They have the special rules, Sharazen Warriors, Elven Reflexes, Kingsguard, Lion Cloak, Move Through Cover, Open Order, Stubborn, and Valor of Ages. Sharazen Warriors means that you can only be joined by your army's general or a character with the Sharazen Hunter Elven Honor. And then Kingsguard says any model in a unit of White Lions that has been joined by your army's general can issue and accept challenges in the same manner as a character. So that's a really great ability if you want to put your general in an infantry unit, which maybe don't do that in High Elves. Anyway, they're 14 points a model base. I don't think I mentioned that before. They're fine. I don't think they're good, but I think that they're fine. 70 points for 5 dudes that can swing at strength 6, and initiative 5 on the charge is pretty decent, I think. Weapon skill 5 is nice. Also, move through cover is cool, and stubborn on the unit is also great.
I mean, I think they're kind of awesome for 14 points. How many points is a hammerer? Because that's kind of the comparison with all the special rules.
Same.
And yeah, they're
14 as well.
Yeah, they're the same. Which, dead on. This is, I think they're very good. The problem is, I think there's better options for your special points, but like they're totally fair, right? They are totally fair.
Yeah, they're 4+ armor save against non-magical shooting, which is nice. With heavy armor and the Lion Cloaks, so that's like fine. I like them. I just think if you're gonna choose between, like, High Elves have 3 different really good, or not really good. They have 3 different elite infantry choices. And these guys are like probably the middle or the bottom to me, I feel like.
Yeah. I have them as second. And we can do that after we get through all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy to talk about that.
Falcon, Swordmasters.
Swordmasters of Hoth. These guys are your blade leaders. They're movement 5, their weapon skill 6. Ballistic skill 4, doesn't matter. They're not throwing their swords at anybody. They're strength 3, tough 3, 1 wound each. Initiative 6 base. And they've got 1 attack. The champ has 2. You can pay 6 points per upgrade of a dude. They can have drilled for 1 point per model. They can have a 50-point magic banner, and their Blade Lord can purchase up to 50 points of magic items. Their special rules: they have Cleaving Blow, Close Order, Shots, Elven Reflexes, Ithalmar Armor, Magic Resistance 1, Valor of Ages, and Warriors of the White Tower. Cleaving Blow, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who's listened to our show before. This is like Killing Blow light. If they roll a 6 when rolling to wound in close combat, enemy models who have the regular infantry, heavy infantry, regular cavalry, heavy cavalry, or war beasts character type, they do not gain. They're not allowed to roll armor saves or regeneration saves against this model. They can take ward saves. And then deflect shots. Models with this rule have a 6+ ward save against any wounds from non-magical shooting attacks. Warriors of the White Tower is a unit with a special rule, may be joined by a High Elf Mage or by a character with either the Warden of Safri or Lore Master Elven Honor. They can't be joined by other folk. Swordmasters of Hoth is probably one of the top infantry units in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
And if they had Swift Stride, they'd be one of the best units in the game. Because they are absolutely fantastic at initiative 6. So initiative 7, if you're being charged, because of Elven Reflexes, initiative 10 on the charge. Otherwise,
with a strength 5 AP 3 non hits last
AP2.
great weapon.
Yes, so strength 5 AP2.
Oh, you're correct.
Weapon
with Cleaving Blow, which is
with Cleaving Blow.
Yeah.
So it's quite good. And magic resist is no joke. Deflecting shots comes in handy every now and then. Unfortunately, they don't have Swift Stride. It's like really the one thing is they're even as a movement 5 unit, they're just not fast enough. So you got to kind of have to give them ethereal until they get where they need to go.
So they're 15 points, I think, because you're always going to buy them drilled.
Yes, you want drilled,
and that makes them moving 15 inches on the first turn is pretty legit. I think. And then also they have they get to they have a half of a chance to take wounds from dangerous terrain too. So throw them into all of those situations because they have Ithalmar armor. Yeah, I mean they're like as far as infantry units go, one of the best infantry units in the game. Absolutely.
So the same 14 points that you'll pay in a multitude of different books for an elite infantry unit, except they've got one above average weapon skill, one above average initiative, a great weapon that doesn't strikes last, like cleaving blow for the same 14 points that you're like, they're phenomenal. Straight up, they may be the best infantry in the game. They're top 3 in my estimation. And that might be a part 2 segment we can do, top 3 rank and file infantry in the game. All right, last one is Phoenix Guard. They run 16 points per model. They come web skill 5, strength and toughness 3, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 9 base, which is quite nice. Ceremonially halberds, which we unpacked earlier. That was the strength +1, AP1 magic weapon halberd. And they come with full plate, which is why you're paying the extra points over and above the heavy armor that the other 2 have. 7-point unit upgrades, which is 1 more than the others. They pay 6 for in Swordmasters and in White Lions. These guys pay 7 for their upgrades. They can take 1 point for drilled, which you're probably going to do. And a magic standard up to 100 points. And of course, the Keeper of the Flame Sergeant can take 25 points of magic weapons, which for some reason makes me scratch my head because the Blade Lord can take 50 points. But the White Lion can take 25. So I don't know why the Swordmasters get 50 points on them. Not that I think you're going to spend.
They're wizard bodyguards.
They're wizards. The special rules: Blessings of Assyrian, Closed Order, Elven Reflexes, Fear, Martial Prowess, Veterans, and Witness to Destiny. So the 16 points, as far as I can tell, over and above the Swordmaster and the White Lions is for the full plate and the Veteran baked in there. Witness to Destiny is you have a 6-up ward save against any wounds suffered by non-magical enemy attacks. So not just the shooting that the White Lion Cloak gives you, or not just the deflect shots. This is 6-up ward save pretty much all the time, unless you're against magical attacks. But the Phoenix Guard just kind of get overshadowed. They don't do as much damage as either of the White Lions or the Swordmasters, but they are arguably more durable way more of the time.
They have twice as many attacks as those units.
They've only got 1 attack
because the halberds give them fight and an extra rank too.
Oh, that's true. Absolutely correct, mate. Yeah, should have pointed that out. And way more likely that with their initiative, 6 when they're charged, that if someone is hitting before them, they will get fights back because their whole, they'll have 2 ranks to which to allocate attacks, right?
Yep. Because elves don't do good at living.
No, that's their challenge to being alive.
They're living challenged. Once anyone is allowed to hit them, they just fold.
Living adverse.
I like it.
But how do you boys feel about Phoenix Guard?
I'm glad that they aren't what they used to be.
Busted is what they used to be.
Do you mean that they don't have a 4-up ward?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You imagine my surprise. They didn't give them a 4+1 save.
I kind of wish they had a 5, but
I actually agree with that.
Yeah, they would be probably fine with that. Yeah, I think that they're like I like them slightly better than I like White Lions, I think. But it would be a close call because I can see if you wanted to take like a foot general and put them in White Lions, I can like the challenge thing is like uber useful in that.
That's literally the reason I put White Lions as the second best over Phoenix Guard because they have just that ability. So it's a weird step down. So you go White Lions at strength 6. Swordmasters of Hoeth at strength 5, and then Phoenix Guard at strength 4. But the Phoenix Guard have the least amount of AP per attack and the least amount of strength per attack, but cost the most. But have more durability. But that durability isn't so much above and beyond the Swordmasters and the White Lions. Like, I feel like they should have shields. Straight up. I just feel like they should have hand weapons, ceremonial halberds, full plate, and shields. And that should be their equipment for the points.
Yeah, that way they'd have the option to go up to a 3-up.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
I mean it's shocking that Black Orcs exist. I understand.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
I'm not comparing those units. That's a lose. That's a lose.
It's a lose.
So, Danny, you have it as Swordmasters, Phoenix Guard, White Lions, or did you have it as Swordmasters?
I'm like, look, I'm kind of tied. I feel like Phoenix Guard and White Lions are probably pretty equivalent, just different things that I would want them for. But I understand why people would rate the White Lions higher than the Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, I just rate the strength 6.
It's good.
The thing.
You're exactly right. It's what outside of a dragon, it's like the only source of strength 6 in the book, right?
White Line Chariot.
Or is it sorry, I don't know if Dragon Prince is on the charge of strength. That's strength 6.
No, they're strength 5.
The Frostheart Phoenix is 6 too.
There we go.
I mean, outside monsters, obviously.
Yeah, you're right. You're right though. Yeah, they're the only like unit that is like a unit of models that has strength 6. Yeah.
All right, moving on, Danny boy.
Yeah, we got Shadow Warriors, probably thematically one of my favorite units in the entire book.
Also, thematically should be in Dark Elves. Thematically, yeah.
I mean, it's weird that I like Nagarythe, the Dark Elf High Elves, better than the other High Elf units. It's crazy. I don't understand.
That's wild.
They're 14 points a model. You get weapon skill and ballistic skill 5. Strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 8. The Shadow Walker is ballistic skill 6. They come standard with hand weapons, longbows, and light armor. The Shadow Walker can take 25 points of magic items. One unit in your army can have all these different rules for +1 point. They can have ambushers, chariot runners, or feigned flight. Cool rules. All of those are cool. Their special rules are Elven Reflexes, Evasive, Fire and Flee, Ithilmar Weapons, Move Through Cover, Scouts, Skirmishers, Veterans, and Warriors of Nagarythe, which just means that you can't join them with characters who don't have the Shadow Stalker Elven honor. For a Scout unit, for 14 points, I think they're great. The rules that you can buy for them are nice. The only quibble that I have with these guys is I wish they had 2 hand weapons or like some of the options that Shades do, but like I understand why they decided not to put those in this book. And the models are just fantastic models too.
Yeah. I'm a pretty decent fan of having like 5 of these guys with feigned flight in your list. So you Fire and Flee, feigned flight, and that way you can like pretty easily pull frenzy models and stuff out of position without really screwing yourself over. I like them for that a lot.
Yeah, I don't really get why only 1 unit in your army may have those. I don't understand why that restriction is there, because then it just means that I only want 1 unit of this in my army. And I don't think any of those rules are overbearingly powerful that I shouldn't be able to take multiples of them. I just don't understand why the limitation's there. Apart from that, it's a banger.
Yeah, I like them. Mm-hmm. Same as the next unit, Adam.
Yeah.
It's Falcon Stan.
It's the Sisters of Abalorn. So these guys or girls are 15 points a model.
I hate them.
Movement 5. They are weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5. The champ is ballistic skill 6. Strength 3, tough 3, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 8, base. They come with bows of Avalorn, which are amazing, light armor and hand weapons. You can pay to upgrade 1 to a champion. You cannot get a musician or a standard in this unit. The champion can take 50 points of magic items. 1 unit in your army may have the ambushers or stubborn special rules for 1 point per model, they come with arrows of Isha, evasive, ignores cover, immune to psychology, Ithilmar armor, Ithilmar weapons, open order, skirmishers, and strikes first. It's a great unit. They're really, really good. You should run probably 2 units of this in your army. I think that is not a bad idea because they're quite good.
Totally agree. Yeah, Ballistic Skill 5 ignores cover is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And they have all the good bow stuff we talked about, about 40 minutes ago, where they're good strength up to AP 3 on a 6, AP 1 all the time. I like units of like 7 or 8 of them because I find that's the right number to just auto delete people's fast cav. Whereas units of 5, you roll a couple of 1s, all of a sudden you kill 1 of your opponent's fast cav, 1 friggin' goblin on wolf, and all of a sudden you're in a problem. So I like 2 units of like 7 or 8.
I like big. I want like 12 or 15.
You're an animal. You're an animal.
I want to put a horn in that mother, and I want to shoot somebody right in the face.
I've run 2 units of 10 before, and I've quite liked those units. So I think I would do that again. Yeah, they're a good value for their points, and like weirdly resilient against like stuff that will hunt down archers, because they get strikes first, and they are Ithomar weapons, so they're rerolling ones to hit. So they actually do like okay against units that don't have armor saves. So yeah,
evasive as well for people counter shooting.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's good.
All right, Illyrian Rivers, 16 points a model. Whim skill, bliss skill 4, strength and toughness 3, of course. It's pretty much just an elf stat line. The elven steed, of course, is movement 9, swift stride. It's exactly what you think. Web skill 3, 1 attack is strength 3. Also initiative 4. Hand weapons, cavalry spears, and light armor can take short bows for 2 points per model, or replace their cav spears with short bows for 1 point per model. 8 points for a champ for some reason, which will get you 1 more bliss skill and 1 more attack, which I guess is why you're paying 7 more than the others. Then the other 2 upgrades 6 points. 25 points of magic items. 1 unit per 1,000 points can have scout, skirmishers, and purchasing magic stands up to 25 points. They come with elven reflexes, fast cav, open order, swift stride, and valor of ages. I think they are a perfectly acceptable fast cav. How far you go down the plussing short bows and upgrades and stuff like that, I don't know if you bother very much. They're already movement 9 swift stride. They don't really need to scout unless you really want to. 1 unit, if you took like 2 or 3 units, having 1 unit with scout might not be the worst thing because, go shut down people's war machines very early. But yeah, how do you boys feel about it? 'Cause I think they're perfectly capable fast cav units. I quite like them.
I'm always taking 2 units, and I'm buying extra short bows on them as well, and a musician and scouts. And the reason I'm going to buy scouts on them is because I get to deploy them last. So I get to see where all my opponent's stuff is, and then I just get to put them in a really annoying place.
Nice.
Yep. I have nothing to add. This is good.
And they're core. Don't forget that.
They are core. Yeah, I love that they're core. 18 points per model, plus 6 points for the musician you were describing, and then they'd go up to 2 points per model, so 20 points per model. So 106 points.
106, right? That's great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, dude, take 4 and a unit of archer, and a unit of 5 archers, and you're freaking done with pretty much done with your core. All right. Danny, still with you for silver.
If it wasn't for these guys, I would probably think about that at least, because I always like to take 1 unit of silver helms. These guys are also a core choice. They have a pretty standard elven stat line: weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength toughness 3, initiative 5 base instead of 4, which is a little upgrade. They have a barded elven steed that they ride. They are 23 points a model, 6 points for their command. They come standard with hand weapon, lances, and heavy armor. You can buy shields for 1 point a model. The barded elven steeds also have barding. You can buy them a magic banner for 25. You can buy them 25 points of magic items on the champion. They have the close order, elven reflexes, first charge, Ithomar barding, swift stride, and valor of ages special rule. So, look, excuse me. They're a 3-up armor save cavalry unit, which is you want some units with good armor saves in high elves because they don't really have a ton of tough units, and they're not as maneuverable as wood elves. So you need to be able to actually do some punching. I think that they're a good, reliable choice instead of dragon princes. If you want a cavalry unit that's going to kind of do what you want it to do all the time. And they're core. So I really rate these guys as kind of like a chaff deleter. A unit of 5 is probably going to be 120 points. I think that's pretty reasonable for what you get.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I've got a little bone to pick because once again, I always have to do some comparisons. So an Empire Knight is 21 points, doesn't come with a lance, which you will be buying for 1 point. So they go up to 22 points, but does come with a shield. So when you price in the shield for the silver helms, they are 24. So 22 versus 24. For that 1 point, you get 1 extra move and 1 extra initiative for 1 point each.
Well,
and
2 extra initiative, really.
Yes, 2. I was about to say 2 extra initiative. Also, Ithomar barding and the Valor of Ages and the Elven reflexes. Yeah.
Don't Empire Don't Empire Knights have countercharge though?
That's the only thing
That's-
Empire Knights have over them, and which is good.
That's massive.
That's a pretty good rule, Adam.
That's like,
It's pretty good.
That is incredibly good. That makes up the difference in my mind a lot. But I do rate Silver Helms for all the reasons Danny said.
I do as well. How do you like to take them, Danny? Just units of 5?
Yeah, I take units of 5. I've run a block of them before. To like kind of with a block that's like fast and can stack combat resolution. Like I ran them with the battle banner and a battle standard bearer inside of them, and with the war banner. Because like you get a really fast unit with a high unit strength that you can just break people with if you win combat, and then run them down because they're also good at that.
Yeah.
So I would either take them one way or the other way. They're good. They're another great, like this unit and Illyrian Reavers are the best ways to fill your core points, I think. Just based on, again, like we've been talking about, kind of how the game is played right now.
All right, Falcon, Dragon Princess.
Dragon Princes. How I wish these guys were strength 4. So Dragon Princes are movement 8, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, tough 3, initiative 5, 2 attacks each instead of just 1. The champ has 3. Their leadership 9 base. They're 37 points. They do come base with lances, full plate, and shields. You don't have to pay for those upgrades. So they have a base 2+ armor save because of the barding. Their command costs 7 points per guy. They can take a 50-point magic banner. They can have 50 points of magic items on their Drake Master. For special rules, they have Close Order, Countercharge, Dragon Armor, Drilled, Elven Reflexes, First Charge, Impetuous, Ithelmar Barding, Ithelmar Weapons, Sons of Calidor, Swift Stride, and Valor of Ages. Sons of Calidor means that they can only be joined by your army's general or a character with the blood of Calidor Elven honor. I really want to like Dragon Princes because they actually stick around because they've got a 2-up armor save and they've got a 6-up ward. They're basically chosen Chaos Knights for probably 10 points less, given all the upgrades that they just get. The problem is like the strength 3 is kind of poopy. So if you don't break your opponent, you're done. And the impetuous. So you really got to impetuous control yourself. Like I don't think if I saw someone running Dragon Princes that I would say they were an idiot or anything like that. I just feel like the impetuous and the strength 3 kill the unit for me.
So it's over 180 points to just take 5 of these guys, just with no command upgrades and no nothing. And 180 plus is the realm where I don't want to have a question of whether I'm going to lose control of the unit due to impetuous. So that means if I'm taking for 180 plus, I'm probably taking more than 5 guys to warrant the 80 plus that I'm taking. Then I'm taking upgrades on that, and then I got to take a babysit unit so that I can maintain control of the unit that I'm paying the points for. And you see how we get into a bit of a spiral here. So then you revert to just being like, I'm taking 5 guys, that's it. And so that's where I feel like I say with them, I'm like, you're dumping 300 plus points into this unit and controlling this unit, or you're just taking 5 guys and like, who cares?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree with that. Because like when you're in marching column, right? You can still be forced to declare a charge with like impetuous. You just can't make the charge move, right?
And then because they have drilled, you actually can be forced to make the charge move now.
Sure. Okay, cool.
So so if you went into marching column and then you were like, I've done it. I've solved the equation. The FAQ now says that you
must readdress your ranks to make the charge.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good change, in all honesty. Yeah. But sucks for this unit in particular.
If elves, also another reason why I'd consider taking these guys is if elves had like a Chaos Warhound option, so like a really cheap,
correct
option to help me with my impetuous. It's one thing to try and block out impetuous for like dragons and stuff, which is harder because a large target. But I guess they have eagles. Never mind. I take it all back. Run, Dragon Princes, everyone. No, don't use your eagles for that reason.
I actually don't hate a single unit of 5.
No,
I actually hate it.
They hit hard, right? I mean, like they do.
Yeah. I mean, single unit of 5 is just 10 strength 5 attacks at good weapon skill, amazing initiative. They'd be initiative 9 on the charge with Elven Reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. Rerolling 1s, rerolling 1s. Weapon skill 5 rerolling 1s. Nice.
Well, only with their hand weapons.
Oh,
get it with the lances.
Boo!
So when they're strength 3, they're amazing.
Never mind. No, they're not.
Strength 3. They're the best strength 3 you've ever seen.
All right. Tyrannok Chariots. These are 75 points for your bare bones light chariot. Strength 5, nice. Toughness 4, 4 wounds. Come with a counts as 5+ armor save. It'll have 2 charioteers, which are pretty much just elves, and then 2 elven steeds. Oh, look, they're just elven steeds. And they have, like I said, they can come in unit sizes of 1 to 4 because they're light chariots. Hand weapons, cavalry, spears, and longbows, and then hooves. Elven reflexes, D6 impact hits, open order, quick shot, swift stride, and valor of ages. How do we feel about the Tyrannok chariot? It's not expensive, but it's not cheap either as far as chariots go, and I don't feel like it does anything particularly well.
It suffers. It would be great if there were units that were fragile on the table. Like if they didn't have, if like the targets that you wanted to charge these guys into didn't have like 3-up armor saves. Like D6 impact hits is much better than any other light chariot. And since they're light chariots, you can put a character in with them, which is sort of, it's something. They don't have like they're kind of all over the place with like quick shot and swift stride. Like they're okay, and 75 points for a chariot with their profile is like not terrible.
It's actually fine.
Not, like, good.
It's actually fine as a going rate for like that chariot profile. But the problem is for me is for 5 points more, you get 5 Reavers, which is your core points rather than your special points. They do everything that I think this chariot does. And it's only 5 points more.
Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. I agree with you. Next up, we have the Lion Chariot. The Lion Chariot is 125 points. It's strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds. It has 2 lion charioteers and 2 war lions. The charioteers are white lions, so same stat line, weapon skill 5, strength 4 base, 1 attack. And the war lions are movement 8, strength 5, weapon skill 5, strength 4 with 2 attacks each. They are unit size 1+, or 1, not 1+, just 1. They have an armor save of 4+. The charioteers have the Sharaisen Great Blades. And then the special rules are, close order, elven reflexes, fear, first charge, impact its D6, lion cloak, stubborn, and valor of ages. And since these are a heavy chariot, they get the side wheels rule, so they are -2 AP. 125 points for what they are is like, it's not bad. I think that they're probably equivalent to a normal Chaos Chariot, right?
Roughly. Yeah.
Like the riders are better.
The riders are better. Well,
I mean, and the lions are better as well than just 2 horses. Way better than just 2 horses.
Way better. Yeah, no, they're 2 attacks.
Weapon skill 5, 2 attacks each. Yeah, weapon skill 5.
No, they're
2.5 times better.
Yeah, for 15 more points, it's definitely, I like it. I wish that Games Workshop weren't cowards and gave it countercharge.
It would be real good. As if your lions are going to stand there and just be like, I guess you can charge me. I'm a lion, but I'm just.
You got me this time.
You got me this time. It does.
Okay,
go ahead.
Bone to pick. I have things called Mournfang in my army, which are saber-toothed tigers, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Weapon skill 3. A lion, weapon skill 5. Who taught these guys how to do like martial arts? Who actually got in the pen and taught them down forward punch,
the chariot,
back low kick?
Yeah.
Isn't that the lore? Like the chariot, they like raise them from cups.
Exactly. And they braid their manes. And that's a key part of what makes them such effective companions is the braid.
When the lions get old enough, they braid the beards of the charioteers.
Amazing. Elves
It's-
can't
it's-
grow beards, Peter.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
what are you talking about?
It's other cloaks, the beard cloaks that they stole from the
Oh.
dwarves in the
Oh,
War of
yeah.
Beards.
Okay.
They
And
bring those.
Obviously, I know that if Mornfang weapon skill 5, they'd be broke-ass busted. So never mind. It was not much of a complaint. All right. Lothan Seagar. So Sky Cutters. Sorry, this is me. This is
so
me.
good.
All right. Movement 2. No, they're fly. They're fly
Best
10.
period ever.
Strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds. So the same stat line as the Tyrannok Chariot. For 15 more points, comes in at 90. And then it has 3 Sea Guard crew, which we read over previously. You know exactly what they do. And then it has the Swift Feather Rock, so the big old, essentially, Great Eagle, who is weapon skill 5. Somehow someone taught the Great Eagle how to do like a, Jean-Claude Van Damme flying kick. And strength 4 with initiative 4 and 2 attacks on that said eagle. Hand weapons, cav spears, and short bows. May take an eagle eye bolt thrower for 25 points. That being a strength 5 AP3 multiple wounds D3 cumbersome bolt thrower. The 2 attacks from the eagle are actually AP2, which is nice, and they come with close order, fear, like I said, fly 10, elven reflexes on the just on the Sea Guard crew. The 3 Sea Guard crew, D3 plus 1 impact hits and swift stride. So leadership 10, fly 10, swift stride, chariot.
Heavy
chariot.
Sorry, heavy chariot. My bad. So
That's
D3
even
plus 1
better.
AP2s. Surprisingly good for this to me is the real death of the Tyrannok chariot, right? So 15 more points for so much more chariot. It's better in combat. It's got better crew. It just moves infinitely better. Has actual AP2 impact hits, even though it's less. It's D6. Actually, no. D3 plus 1 is in my opinion better than D6 impact hits. Let alone there being AP2 versus AP nothing.
I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, I would 100% take D3 plus 1 AP0 over D6 AP0. Boys, take it away with the Sky Cutter.
It's a great mount option. The Eagle Eye Bolt Thrower being able to shoot 360 is also very nice. I quite like this unit. I think it's like we talked about before, a great mount option for wizards. Fly 10 is very fast.
So nice.
Yeah, what a great unit.
I'm a huge fan of the Sky Cutter. I love it as a mount. I'm not opposed to it as just a guy that hangs out and charges something. It's got a 4+ armor save, so it's better than the Tyrannok Chariot in that way as well. Really, the benefit of the Tyrannok is that you take 4 of them in a unit. This guy can't do that, but then I think it would be dumb. He's just beautiful. You get 3 short bow shots every turn as well if you're not going to charge with it. What's not to love?
And you can march and shoot those too.
Yeah.
Do you take?
Can you march and shoot? They have quick shot. They don't have move and shoot though, right?
Oh,
Don't
I
they
thought
have?
that they had.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Do you take the block thrower?
I have 6 of these. Personally,
How?
I own 6 Lothran Sky Cutters.
So I just have to say, when I see one of these models on the table, I'm just like, how is it still intact? See, I have these hands, you see, and if I owned that model, it would be in fucking pieces immediately. How people own this model and it is in one piece? I do not understand.
All of my flight stands are pinned, Adam.
I would pin everything. The Eagle would be attached by industrial grade Rio, reconstruction material, and everything would just be Anyway, moving on. Griffins, Danny.
So Griffins are a monstrous creature mount for high elf characters. They are movement 6 base, weapon skill 5, strength 5, +2 toughness, +3 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks. They cost 130 points. They come on a 50 by 50. They have the Griffin itself is armed with wicked claws and a serrated maw and heavy armor. Wicked claws are AP -2. The serrated maw is you have to make one of your attacks with it. It's strength user, armor bane 2 with multiple wounds 2, just like all the other bites in the game. It's close order, fly 9, large target, stomp D3, swift stride, and terror. At the start of the edition, I was really hot on Griffins. I thought that they were very good, but after playing with them a bit, they are less cool than I had initially anticipated.
Why is
You
this?
get a lot for like a 200-point character on one of these, right? It's like
Yeah.
220 points for like a baseline character, and he's fast and like can pick up chaff and stuff like that really well. But that's like all he's probably going to be doing.
Mhm.
I don't know. And it's
I
got
mean-
terror. That's nice too. What do you guys think?
In so many other books, this really holds up. In this book, this doesn't hold up, which is really wild. How does this look versus the big peg in Bretonian?
The hippogriff?
Yeah,
I mean,
because that is
don't run
that
the
is
hippogriff.
It's about the same. The
Is it about
rider
the
is
same?
better on the hippogriff, though, I think.
that's what I was about to say. Because I know the rider is better, but how does it look like stat line to stat line? Is it about the same and about the same points?
I mean, this is the same as the Empire Griffin, right?
Okay, fair.
So this is like the same thing. The difference is like a prince or a noble is better than what Empire can put on a Griffin.
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
Same toughness bonus, same wound bonus. Basically, it's the same stat line. The hippogriff is movement 7 instead of movement 6, and it's 120 points.
So
The
10
other
points
cool
cheaper.
thing about the hippogriff is that it has countercharge as a
Yeah.
straight up rule that it just
Yeah.
adds. So, yeah.
Yep. So it's 10 points less, and the hippogriff is better, and people already don't take the hippogriff. So that's pretty cute. But that's only because pegs are busted. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think this is very much overshadowed by this next page, which Peter is going to tell us about. The dragon.
Yeah, the dragons. So elves have 3 dragon options that they can choose to ride on. The sun dragon, which is weapon skill 5, strength 5, gives you +2 to your toughness, so bumps you up to toughness 5, +4 wounds, so you're up to 6 or 7 wounds. Initiative 4, 4 attacks for 180 points. You can take a moon dragon if you wanted to get a little bit better. The moon dragon rider is weapon skill 6, strength 6, +2 to your toughness, so now your toughness 5 still, +5 wounds, so now you're looking at 7 and 8 wound characters. Initiative 3, 5 attacks for 235 points. Or the big boy, the star dragon, for an extra 290 points on your prince. You can have a weapon skill 7, strength 7, toughness +3, so you go up to toughness 6, +6 wounds, so you're looking at 8 and 9 wound respectively. Initiative 2 with 6 attack dragon. These guys are all behemoths. They all have dragon fire. They all have full plate as their base armor. The sun dragon is fly 10. Actually, all of these three dragons are fly 10. The sun dragon is impetuous. The other 2 aren't. All 3 of them have stomp attacks, swift stride, and terror. They're all AP2 on their attacks. The dragons are great. I think you're really, most of the time, going to want to either run your Star Dragon or the Moon Dragon. Strength 7 is a really great break point, especially in a world of ridden monsters.
Incredible.
Having, and that, like, also that +3, getting to toughness 6 is huge. And, like, having a prince on a Star Dragon, like, is really, I think, important into a lot of lists you're going to play into these days. It's pretty easy for you to have a prince that's got a 2+ armor save, a 5+ ward, and a 5+ regen if you want to go that route, or to give him a ridiculously killy blade and still be 2+ armor and 5+ something. So, like, the prince on a Star Dragon is a pretty stellar option in any list.
Yeah. D6 +1 stomps is the only other difference I saw on the Star
Oh,
Dragon.
yes, sorry. The Star
totally
Dragon has
forgot.
an extra stomp, so that's
Totally
huge.
forgot about that myself.
One weird thing about these dragons compared to other dragons is they don't have a bite attack. They can just make all of their attacks with wicked claws, which is better.
It
is
shits
better.
me. It absolutely shits me that they don't get downgraded by having to make a chomp attack. All right, Flamespire Phoenix is up next. 170 points, weapon skill 5, strength and toughness 5, 5 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 7. Comes with counts as heavy armor, and then of course Wicked Claws, which is just your behemoth attack. Strength user AP2. Blessings of Assyrian, closed order, fear, flaming attacks, fly 10 from the ashes, large target stomp, so 2 stomps, swift stride, and wake of fire. From the ashes is when its last wound is taken, roll a d6 before moving the model. On a 1 or 2, it's just dead. On a 3 through 5, the Phoenix explodes, and every enemy unit in base contact with it suffers d6 strength 3 hits with AP of 1 and flaming attacks. And then on a 6, The Phoenix and its rider, should it have one, are briefly consumed in a ball of flame and immediately reborn with D3 wounds. And then the Wake of Fire is this model may perform Wake of Fire attack against a single enemy unit that is not engaged in combat. To do so, this model must move by flying over that unit it wishes to attack during the remaining move subphase. Once this model's movement is complete, enemy unit suffers D6 strength 4 hits with AP 1 with the flaming attacks special rule. It can be taken as a character mount for a variety of different characters, in which case they will get +2 toughness and +3 wounds in addition to the regular everything else I told you about for 170 points as well also. A bit underwhelming was what I had to tell you about the Flamespire Phoenix. The Wake of Fire is nowhere near strong enough for a flyby by a behemoth, in my opinion. D6 strength 4 hits. It's
not even a behemoth.
It's shitter than a fireball. It's worse than a fireball. It's not even throwing a fireball when it flies over you. Like that should be it should be 2d6 strength 5 AP2s or something like that to warrant not
Slow
charging.
down.
No, it should be. Like, it should be at least as good as its freaking attacks. Like, it flew over you and it's on fire. You are now on fire, but somehow you don't.
It does only have 3 attacks.
Well, you don't even take 3 strength 5 attacks at AP2. Like, I would take that over D6 AP1s at strength 4. You know, it should at least be D6 with its profile when it flies over you, in my opinion. But yeah, this thing is extremely underwhelming in my opinion. The Griffin's freaking better for 40 less points. Yeah, wild to say. Anything good to say about the Flamespire boys?
I'm really sad that the one that I have painted is I'm not going to take on the table very much.
It has no good rules.
It's very sad. Like it needs a lot of love. First of all, it's a monstrous creature, so even though it gets 2 stomps, the stomps suck because they have no AP, right?
Yeah, it only has 2 stomps. Like,
right.
Yeah, wild.
So
wild.
Yeah.
Danny, Frostheart, give me some love, hopefully.
So yeah, well, sorry,
I
Adam.
know.
Frostheart Phoenix is 205 points, movement 2, weapon skill 6, which is nice, strength and toughness 6, also great. 5 wounds, initiative 3, 4 attacks, leadership 8. It's a monstrous creature. He's got AP2 on his close combat attacks and full plate armor, like that. His special rules are Blizzard Aura, Close Order, Fear, Fly 9, Large Target, Stomp Attacks 2, and Swift Stride. Blizzard Aura means when you're in base-to-base contact, you get Strikes Last, which can be a cool rule. You can also take them as a character mount, in which case you get +3 toughness and +3 wounds with the same offensive stat line for exactly the same points cost as it would take for you to buy it. I like it better than the Flamespire, but I still don't like it because I think it is too expensive. The other thing about both of these that is really disappointing, why do they not have terror?
Yeah,
I guess the bird is not scary, like because they're not real.
Birds aren't scary.
Giant firebird. Just get out of here, mate.
Seen
whatever. Seen it before. It doesn't matter. I watched that Godzilla movie that one time. You got nothing.
The griffin way scarier. It has terror.
Way scarier.
But I mean, the griffin is also part lion, and cats are scary.
That's true. You got me there, Peter. I can't dispute that.
Cats eat birds.
Okay, toughness 6 is cool. Like that's probably the
Toughness
best part about
great.
this as a character mount.
Yeah, toughness 6 is great because otherwise you're paying 290 points to get this to get the same, right? So
yeah,
that's kind of the benefit.
I hate that either of the Phoenix is. Yeah. Anyway, if we had a
Blast Aura is not bad in the mirror. If elves were really good and you saw them all over the place, like that's not bad.
I was about to say the same thing.
I guess.
About to say the same thing. If elves ever became dominant, putting a noble, I wouldn't go a lord on a Frostheart, but putting like an anti-elf noble on a Frostheart wouldn't be the worst thing.
Well, yeah. So like the example that I could think of is like if you wanted to put your noble or your prince on the Frostheart instead of the Star Dragon, when you go into Wood Elves, at least you'll get a chance to punt that Forest Dragon before it kills you.
I mean, he becomes immune to Wild Riders, though, right? I'm not crazy, yeah.
I don't understand what you mean.
If you had a Frostheart, if you can like Wild Riders can't charge this character and hit first, yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Well, it'll hit before the Phoenix, but the character will get to swing before the Wild Riders.
Yeah,
you'll get your like 4 attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he would
all
get
right.
to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. You go, Falcon.
Yes, Great Eagles. So these guys, they are movement 2, but they fly. 10. Weapon skill 5. Always good. Strength 4, tough 4, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 6, who cares? 60 points. We've talked about these guys before when we did our Wood Elf review. Great Eagles are great. I love running 1 or 2 of them in most of my lists because they're fast. They can chomp onto small units and probably kill them. They're decent at like redirecting a charge for a turn or blocking a space. They just do good things. And High Elves don't have a lot of super cheap, fast options to do just those things. So that's why you want a Great Eagle.
20 points less than the next cheapest fast thing being like 5 Olivia Reavers, which come in at 80 with no upgrades. So yeah, for 60, I think they're a bargain.
Yeah, I think that I almost always take at least 1 Great Eagle, if not.
Yeah, exactly.
If not 2, yeah. All right, Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, the last unit. They're a war machine. Yeah, they're toughness 6 and only 2 wounds. Yep. 80 points it will run you. They are Bliss skill 4 from the Sea Guard crew, and then Sea Guard stat line should they be charged. And they're a bolt thrower.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
They're a repeater bolt thrower.
Yay. So they get the 2 modes.
Yeah. And it's not great until they are. I've played into them a couple times. Every game I've played into them but one, they were shit garbage. And then I played against one guy who could only roll 6s with them, and it was the greatest thing, and I hated it.
I think I've played against them once, and it killed the Saber Tusk, and then the next Saber Tusk killed it. And I was like, I'm up like 60 points on that. That's fantastic. Let's go.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed with repeater bolt throwers in general. I think that they're very overcosted because they hit on like 5s or 6s most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I almost always do single shots when I take bolt throwers.
And dude, only 2 wounds as well. Like I'll throw a fireball at that. I'll just yeet a fireball at this and get a couple of 6s instead.
Cool. Just die.
Die.
Just die. All right, that is the units done. We're going over to the High Elf magic items on page 181. Danny, you're up first.
All right, so we got the White Sword. The White Sword is 70 points. It's a close combat weapon. It's, as you would imagine, a sword being. It's +3 strength, -2 AP. It has the magic attacks, Monster Slayer, requires 2 hands, and strike last special rules. It can only be taken by troop types of infantry or chariot.
Thank all the gods for that last text. That's oof.
Yeah, it's cool. I like this thing. Yeah.
I love it. It's the one thing that started me thinking about just running Skycutter Princes occasionally.
Yeah.
Because then you're at least striking at initiative, which means you're often initiative 10 anyway. When you go in with your Monster Slayer sword, that's also just good against everything else. And I think that's the big draw for it there is like it's a better great weapon that also has Monster Slayer on it. So
totally agree. Yeah. I think it's a banger. And unlike a lot of other people's because of course the Prince and Noble strength 4 base, so this can be strength 7 as well. Yeah. And unlike a lot of other people's super weapon, it's not 100 points. You still get to take other stuff. Good.
Yeah. The Blade of Leaping Gold for 50 points. To the valiant, the Blade of Leaping Gold lends supernatural strength and vigor to the craven and the corrupt. It brings only swift death. A more finely balanced sword than this has never been made. It's fucking garbage. No, it's not actually. But it's 50. It's 50 points.
Somebody clip that.
So it's 50 points. Strength user, so you're going to be strength 3 or strength 4, depending on what you're putting this thing on. AP nothing. Armor Bane 2. So okay. Extra attacks D3, magical attacks. So it's not it doesn't require 2 hands like a lot of the extra attack weapons, so it's got that going for it. But like, don't take this.
No.
Yeah.
I like
No.
unless like the Arcane Journal comes out and it's like, if you take the Blade of Leaping Gold, you get AP 1 billion. Do not. It's not good. Save your 50 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Reaver Bow, 40 points. Range 30, strength +1, no AP, magical attacks. Notes, the Reaver Bow counts as a bow of Avalon. So the wielder of the Reaver Bow may make a number of shooting attacks equal to their attack characteristic rather than the usual one. This model does not suffer any modifiers for firing multiple shots. Is this any good, Danny?
You know, look, if the Handmaiden had more than 2 attacks, like maybe if she had 3 attacks, I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll take this, because you can still, since it's the Bow of Avalon, you can use Arrows of Aisha, which is quite nice. However, you can't do that. So yeah, unfortunately, I wish that I could say that I was into it, but I'm not.
For 40 points, I'm also not into it. The reality is there's no good place to put this that gets mileage out of its special rule. I mean, it should probably be half the points, and then maybe
it should be the bolt thrower that it used to be.
Yes,
handheld bolt thrower.
It was never a bolt thrower. It was always 3 shots.
Well, it should be a bolt thrower.
It should be a bolt thrower. What are you not getting here, Danny?
Carry around, Danny. Okay.
I remember I used to take a guy on a sky cutter with this with a potion of strength, and like I'd pop that and shoot like 3 strength 7 shots at somebody, and I'd be like,
I played against that. Yeah, you yucky boy.
Imagine High Elves having jank.
Is that next?
Or is Danny? Whoever.
It's Danny.
It's me. I got it. Fobane. Fobane is a close combat sword weapon. I don't know. It might be a sword. Is it a sword? It says a strangely twisted elven blade. So it could be an axe or a halberd, I guess. But anyway, it's a close combat magic weapon. Strength is user with magic attacks, and you always wound on a 4+.
Do not take this. A magic weapon dunks all over this thing.
Yeah. God.
Sorry, a great weapon dunks all over this thing.
Look, but you have options that are better than great weapons on like even if you were going to take this on a unit champion, which don't, like if you were like, you can just give your character an honor to make him for 10 points.
Yes,
to give him a magic strikes at initiative great weapon with killing blow. Take that instead.
Please do that.
So far, the magic weapons are a dumpster fire and the white sword.
Yeah.
Peter, take it away.
The Armor of Calidor, 35 points. This thing is fantastic. It's a set of full plate armor that also gives you a 5+ ward save for 35 points.
Pissed
Not
off
much
elves.
to say. It's great.
Fuck yeah.
It's amazing.
So good.
Put this on your wizard that can take armor. Just
arguably the best magic armor in the game. Like you could argue it's the best magic armor in the game.
It's okay. It's like it's good.
Yeah. All right. Dragon Helm, 10 points. May be worn with other armor. The wearer of the dragon armor, so the dragon helm improves their armor value by 1, of course, to a maximum of 2+. In addition, a 6+ ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by an attack that has the flaming weapon special. Who cares? It's 10 points of +1 armor save, like a lot of other helms.
This is the best magic armor in the game.
Nah.
This is amazing. It gets you to a 2+ so easily.
For 10 points, it's really
10
good.
points.
It's really good.
It's like 10 points. If it was common.
God, every magic armor is a banger here too. Like, God, those are both great items.
There's two of them. And
every single one is a banger.
Just let me have my excitement, please.
Well, you're up next, mate. Loremaster's Cloak.
All right. Loremaster's Cloak's 25 points. The bearer of the Loremaster's Cloak and any unit that they have joined gets a 4+ ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by a magic missile. This is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ruby Ring is in every single list, but dispelling the Ruby Ring is not a struggle. So,
yeah.
I mean, for 25 points, nah.
Here's the thing, too. Like, if I'm taking this, I'm also not taking the Talisman of Protection. So,
true.
So,
see you later.
Fuck you. Opal Amulet, extremely common. Why that is? Because they wanted High Elves to be broken and they just couldn't do it, though. It's 20 points.
Ulthuan is chock full of opals, just like
just chock full.
Buckets, bathtubs, swimming pools. Opals.
Potent yet fragile amulets that offer powerful protection but break easily, just like my heart. It's a single use. An opal amulet gives its bearer a 2+ ward save against a single wound, and it's extremely common. You could take 5 of them on a guy if you really were super worried, and that's a pretty good ward save. Don't take 5 of them.
Remember when everyone in the game had access to this?
Yeah, for 5 points.
5 points on the charm shield. Oh, those are the days. That first cannonball. See you later, mate. You're out of here.
See you later, mate.
Yeah.
I know all about it. My Source Cowboys ate it up. Next up.
All right, Magic Standards. So suffice to say, the Talismans is a 50-50 between
Opal Amulet's good. Yeah, the other one do not.
All right.
Magic Standards.
Opal Amulet, dope on a dragon character for Monster Slayer.
Yeah.
Correct. Banner of Arcane Protection for 70 points. A unit carrying the banner gains magic resistance 3 special rule. In addition, friendly units within 6 get magic res 1. 70 points to be mostly immune to magic on a unit. Like neg 3 is pretty big. And then neg 1 in a 6-inch aura is not the worst thing ever. But I still don't think it's one you want. There's no unit that I think you're taking that you want to put this on.
Yeah.
Like, what's in your army that you're just like, oh boy, is this thing going to get shot to shit?
Yeah, this is a Death Star banner, and
it does
aren't doing Death Stars right now.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you had like a giant unit of Sword Masters or something that you were making ethereal, like that's almost cool.
Sword Masters are already magic res 1, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, they are.
So you're paying 70 points for 2 more rather than 3.
Right.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Battle Banner, 60 points. When calculating its combat result, a unit carrying the Battle Banner may claim an additional bonus of plus D3 combat resolution or combat result points. Yeah, I think this is a good item if you're going to take a battle standard. But that's really the only thing that you can take this on because you're probably not going to take Phoenix Guard.
Yeah. I did consider because I did the thing in my Empire army where I had a big unit of veteran state troops that had the Griffin Standard and then a War Banner. I did wonder if you could do Sea Guard because they get that free redress when charged to do something similar with this and the War Banner because you'd always redress.
And you would get stand and shoot wounds too.
Correct. I did wonder whether you could do something similar with this, and I think you can. Whether it's good, up to you.
I have to think about that. That does sound cool though, because you can take
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So what if you took 80 Lothern Sea Guard?
No, I'm done.
Line hammered the whole board, table edge to table edge, and then went 90 deep.
If they had a poison banner, I'd do it every day of the week.
A heartbeat. A heartbeat. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you're up.
Oh, it's me. It's the Lion Standard.
It's you.
Rower. Lion Standard. 25 points. A unit carrying the Lion Standard just passes Fear and Terror. They don't even give a shit.
Yeah, no shits.
No. Because they're lions. Wow.
Whatever for 25 points. Pretty middling.
Yeah.
Banner of Illyrian for 20 points. A unit carrying the Banner of Illyrian gains a move through cover. Not terrible on a unit of cav.
For 20 points, I do like this item.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's cool. But I mean, the banners is just very specific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like there is no, this is universally good on a bunch of different units. It's like, if I'm taking this exact unit, maybe this is okay.
Dude, give me my freaking Arcane Journal for these guys so I can take some magic banners. That's what I'm saying right now.
Let's do it.
You got
them Tracians.
First enchanted item, Danny.
Okay, we got the Nullstone. 75 points. Yeah, the most magical army in the world. Also the most anti-magic army. While in the command range of the bear, wizards, friend or foe, suffer a -1 modifier to their casting and dispel rolls. Okay. In addition, during the command subphase of their turn, if they're not engaged in combat, the character may attempt to use the Nullstone by making a leadership test using their own unmodified leadership. If this test is passed until the start of your next start of turn subphase, the character cannot be targeted by spells and is immune to the effect of any spells. Yeah.
Does that also extend to their unit? Like if I'm trying to hex a unit that they're in?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Me either.
I'm like thinking about it. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I mean, you're targeting the unit, not the character, but the character's part of the unit. So I don't know. Is it any good, Danny?
You can do maybe a cute thing with a dragon with this, I think, because then you have an 18-inch bubble that you can make people -1 to their dispel rolls. And then also make your dragon immune to illusion magic, which is kind of cool.
I actually thought the best place to put this on would be Archmage's Skycutter, right? It keeps him cheap, keeps him lean. You don't want to wait. You're not wasting a dragon's combat by not being, by being, if you're charging people, so you're not casting because you want to use the dragon. But if you're not charging, you're not using the dragon. So you chuck it on the Skycutter and you play keep away and just neg everyone's casting from behind their lines and out of charge ranges and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. 75 points is a lot of points.
It's a
you're
lot.
not going to get good defensive items. That's my beef with it, I would say.
Yeah. And if you're on the Skycutter, you're not starting at a good armor save either. So yeah,
True.
It does get awkward. Peter.
The Cloak of Beards. An aura of fear and anger hangs about this grisly trophy of War of the Beard, filling allies and enemies alike with unease. The wearer of the Cloak of Beards causes terror. However, the cloak is so unnerving. It's just so fucking weird because of the braids that the lion's made in it. That other models cannot use the wearer's leadership.
I mean,
yeah. We all have that mate when you come to the party, and they were specifically told it wasn't a fancy dress party. And then when they rock up, you're gonna be like, "Is that how you dress usually, or did you get the instructions wrong?" And yeah, that's the Cloak of Beards. It's not good.
No, it's a cloak I made of the scalps of my enemies.
Wait, actually, is it good
for terror?
Yeah, 30 points for terror.
Don't do it.
I don't think so. Not when you have this bad boy, right?
Seed of Rebirth, common item, 20 points. The Seed of Rebirth gives its bearer the regeneration of 5+ special rule. And here's my once per episode, per elf episode that I probably dropped 4 or 5 times now, but fuck off. This item can fuck straight off into the sun. It should be a 6-up, 35 points. It's too good. This is way too good. And it's why is it common? Take away the asterisks. Yeah. Auto freaking take on any character.
Yeah.
Just auto take. It's too busted.
It's very good. And you can like for 55 points if you take this in Armor of Kaldor on a character.
So stupid.
You're already saving a point on buying full plate over the Talisman of Protection, and then also you have a 5+ regions.
Well, dude, no, it's 65 because you're taking the Dragon Helm too. No, you can't. Yeah, you can.
I wish. Yeah,
I know. It's so busto. But just Dragon Helm full plate shield Seed of Rebirth is totally acceptable. Yeah, it's totally acceptable. 30 points, man. 30 points for that level. Yeah, so good, so good.
Then you can take like an ogre plate or whatever.
Yeah, exactly right. You still got points for it. I was just talking like just smack that on a noble or whatever, and just
sure, why not?
And just be really annoying. All right.
Got the Sigil of Assyrian. This is also extremely common. 40 points. Single use. The wizard may use this item instead of making a dispel attempt. You just auto dispel. You note that a perfect invocation cannot be dispelled. So old school dispel scroll, 40 points. Maybe someday, if I had 40 points spare on a character, I would take this. But it's a fine. It's a good item. I don't know. I just don't ever find myself with that many points in my arcane items,
especially for a single use, right?
Yeah. How much do dwarves pay for the Rune of Spellbreaking?
25.
Yeah, I was like, it's not 40.
Yeah, but they only have an 18-inch range on theirs, where if you focus on an Archmage, it's 24. There's benefits to this over the dwarves. The Anulian Crystal is 30 points, and it's dug from beneath the Anuli Mountains, I guess, it's near Spain. Once per turn, upon successfully casting a spell, the bearer of the Anulian Crystal can choose to forget that spell and immediately generate another spell, not including signature spells, in the usual manner. Note that it is possible for you to generate the same spell that you just forgot. If it wasn't for that line, I would say this was fine.
Me too. It's if it didn't have that line in it, this would just be a long game fix my hand, ability where you can just take the lore familiar and just choose for the same points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it didn't have that last line, this would be totally good, I think.
Yeah, I think if it was worded that you could possibly get that spell later in the game, but not immediately, like
roll?
if you,
yeah,
then it would be fine. Like,
yeah. All right, silvery wand. So it's not silver per se. It's more like wrapped in aluminium foil. 15 points. The bearer of the silvery wand knows one more spell chosen in the usual way than is normal for their level of wizardry. So 5 spells is very achievable. 15 points for an extra spell, not bad at all.
No, it's what it's the rate for like spell familiars from other armies. So
yeah, I think it's perfectly acceptable. All right, and we're going from here straight to the lore, and Danny's going to tell us about Hand of Cain.
Yeah, so Hand of Cain is an assailment with a casting value of 8+. Of course, it's ranged combat. A single enemy model that the caster is engaged with suffers a single strength 4 hit with no armor save permitted. Ward and regen saves can be attempted as normal. Just there's lots of other spells that you can take. And like you should probably do that instead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh.
Nope.
Peter.
The Courage of Anarian. This is an enchantment with a casting value of 10. It's got a range of 15. It remains in play. While the spell is in play, target friendly unit gains Unbreakable. If the spell is cast, the effects of any other enchantment previously cast on the target unit immediately expires. The spell may target a friendly unit engaged in combat. This is cute. It's I would like it better if elves weren't so expensive for a lot of their stuff. But Unbreakable is a really good rule. And even if they dispel it on the next turn, it probably is doing what you wanted it to do anyway, which was saving you for the turn you cast it, since you can cast it into combat. So, and a 10+ isn't like a guaranteed dispel for somebody anyway, as it remains in play. So,
true.
All right, last one. Vol's Unmaking is a hex with a casting value of 11, so it can be a bit rough. Range of 12. The spell can only target enemy characters. However, it may target an enemy character that is within a range and that the caster can draw a line of sight to. Okay, it may only target those, regardless of the usual rules for targeting characters, and may even target enemy character that's joined a unit or that is engaged in combat. The casting player chooses a single magic item carried by the target. This magic item is immediately unmade, rendering it completely useless. The chosen magic item cannot be used for the remainder of the game. This is real cute. Hard to cast, but I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it on the Skycutter guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say the Skycutter lad just jumping around behind people, just unmaking all their best shit. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Just like blow up an ogre blade or a ward save or anything like that. It's beautiful. Changes the game.
Unmake people's talent protections. Unmake their ruby rings. Fantastic. Really good. Is there any way to get significant pluses to cast here? I haven't seen any, but all I've seen is like they've got consistent rerolls to cast. So it's not quite as good as just having flat pluses, but 11 plus on casting on level 4. So you just have to hit a 7. It's not too bad with a reroll.
I don't think high elves have any bonuses to cast right now,
yeah,
which is probably for the best, to be honest.
It is. Absolutely is. I mean, we just read through the whole book, Danny, and we didn't read any. So I guess we're correct in that estimation.
Yeah, you could take like the whatever it is, was it the Wanda Jet that's +1, but
the common one.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah.
But don't.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of your full cover-to-cover coverage, bang, bang, of the High Elves Army book. So we're going to do our ratings and rankings system, where first and foremost, starting with Danny, how happy are you as a High Elf player with this book? Out of 10.
Out of 10. Okay. I would say about 8.5 if I could pick a point. I think I'm pretty happy with this overall. Like if the game was a little bit more infantry focused, I would be probably like 10. Like I'm really happy with this book in general, or with this army list in general. I think it's really fun. I can't wait to see the Arcane Journal. And like it embodies all the things that I like about High Elves. I especially like the honor system. I think they did a really good job with balancing that. in a good way. Like obviously there's free stuff, right? And those are like you're going to put honors on every single character, and I'm not opposed to that. I think that's kind of cool. It makes your characters special and fun. So yeah, I'm a big fan, especially since like their characters are so expensive. You're probably not going to have a ton of them. So making those characters cool and unique is awesome.
Peter, out of 10, how happy do you think High Elf players should be with this?
I think they should be, I don't know. This is a solid B. So like a 7.5. I think it's a perfectly great book. Yeah, I think that's fine. I wish that like Phoenix Guard and White Lions were a little better, a little like gave you reason to take them. Had a little more identity, I guess. But other than that, yeah.
I think they should be 12 out of 10 happy because it's the fairest book they've ever had, and they have the least amount of complaints, and everyone's going to be happy, and they should, yeah. Shut up.
I just hope that in the Arcane Journal they bring back Banner of the World Dragon.
Can you
I can't
just
wait, dude. It's
stop shitting in my lunchbox? No, they're not allowed to have it. They can't have it. They can have it, but it has to be terrible.
It's going to be amazing.
No, not allowed to. And I think Peter already alluded to the fact that we think this is a B tier faction, going from S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier in like the competitive rankings. I have this as solidly right in the middle of the game at the moment. So B to B plus is where I have this. Danny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Yeah, it's got some cool tools, but I think that there's nothing like incredibly broken about this or anything like that. But it's also not bad because they do have good choices. So yeah, I think right in the middle of the pack is a great ranking for how they line up.
Yeah. So they have probably the second or arguably third best behemoth character in the game. They have arguably you could definitely make an argument they have the best rank and file infantry in the game in the Swordmasters. They have perfectly acceptable magic with good spells and good choices in lore. And then they have the decent fast cav redirectors and bits and pieces. So they're kind of just well-rounded without being like crazy exceptional when you put it all together.
Yeah, I think I think the best thing I can say about High Elves is that if they ever do a really comprehensive balance pass on this book, they probably won't get touched.
Yeah. Others will be. They're about where I want most armies to be. Is my opinion.
Yeah.
We did it. What was the army book we reviewed previously where we said this is exactly where I want every army to be? This is this power level, this level of diversity. And unit choices. Which one was it?
It wasn't Bretonnia.
It definitely was not Bretonnia. Sorry,
it wasn't.
Was it Orcs and Goblins?
Could have been.
It may have been Orcs and Goblins, like the pre Arcane Journal Orcs and Goblins.
Yeah.
Because that's about where this is now that fanatics have been fixed. Obviously.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because they have one of the best behemoth characters, one of the best rank and file in Black Orcs. Great casters and magic. Yeah, same shit. Yeah, cool. All right, done. Solve the game. Everybody should be balanced according to High Elves and Orcs and Goblins. The meta is solved. We fixed everything.
We did it.
Episode's done. Enjoy your 2 hours. We're going to go over and record part 2. I may not be there. We shall see. We love you all. Boys, say your things at the end of the show.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to That Old World Charm with those charming chaps, Adam, Danny, and Peter the Falcon. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio.